today I'm going to show you guys how to get a beautiful glowy look using the infamous Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. This tutorial is aimed at my oily skin girls who are too scared to use this foundation because it is quite luminous and it gives you a very glowy look and it could make you look oily. And that is the biggest warning signs for us oily skin girls. We do not want to wear it, but I have found a way for me to be able to wear it without it looking super oily and without it making me look sweaty or like a grease ball at the end of the day. My skin is already acting up today because it is that time of the month, if you know what I mean. If you know what I'm talking about, ladies, you know what I'm talking about. And if you guys like it, please thumbs up this video. Please give it a like, and I promise I will get more videos up in the near future. I have been out traveling a lot, so I haven't really been able to make a lot of videos, so I apologize for that in advance. So have a wonderful day, hope you enjoy. So let's get started. I'm gonna start with actually priming my face. Now when you use the Luminous Skin Foundation by Armani, it is very important to know that it's a very luminous foundation, just like the name says. It will give you a very dewy look, if not very glowy as well. It's a beautiful finish, but if you're oily skinned, it is easy that you look a little bit extra oily after some time. So I always recommend that you use a mattifying primer. I'm going to be using the Makeup Forever Step 1 Skin Equalizer. This is the mattifying one from them, and I've been loving using this together with my Luminous Skin Foundation just because it kind of mattifies the areas which I know will get really oily, and it kind of prevents it getting oily, and it stays a lot more glowy throughout the day. And I did actually moisturize my face. I just used my favorite moisturizers, which is the MAC Mineralized Charged Water Moisturizer. It's super lightweight. If you have oily skin, this is a really beautiful moisturizer to use. So try it out. So I'm going to start applying this. You don't need a lot of this at all, and I would recommend only applying it on areas where you get really oily because it can easily really dry out your skin. So I'm using about that much, maybe just a tiny bit more, just like a pea size like that. And we're going to apply this just on my T-zone area. I'm going to start by applying it on my nose. If you guys are wondering what's on my nose, I actually hit my nose when I was in Sweden. I hit it on a balcony. What's it called? Like a balcony pole? I don't know. It was very stupid, and I have this nasty scar. It doesn't look that bad now, but it was very blue before. So I first rub it in, and then I just pat it in with my fingers. Like so. After this, I'm just going to spray a little bit of my Urban Decay De-Slick Makeup Setting Spray. This is perfect for this foundation, both before and after, just because it gives you that hold that you need throughout the day. Seeing as it is not a matte and long-lasting foundation, this will make it last a lot longer. So I'm just going to spray this now. And it feels really nice on the skin. Now that your skin is fully primed, I'm gonna start with the foundation. I have my Giorgio Armani Luminous Skin Foundation in the color 575. What I love about this foundation is that it gives you this beautiful glow that looks very natural. It does not look too dewy and it does not look too glowy. It looks just perfectly luminous, which is exactly what I want from a foundation, especially when I'm going for a dewy look, which is not often. It is a perfect foundation for summer. It is really lightweight. It doesn't feel heavy at all. It doesn't have any SPF, which is amazing. So when you're in photos, there's not going to be any flashback. You're not going to look like you have a white cast all over your face. I actually wore this to a wedding this weekend, and I took a lot of photos, and I can actually insert a picture right here. And I took a lot of photos, and as you can see, there was no flashback. It looked really nice, and the skin looked really glowy, and actually looked very flawless, which is something that I was very surprised with this foundation, especially because it is a quite lightweight foundation. So I put 2 pumps in the back of my hand, and I do apply it first just all over my skin in little dots. I make sure I don't apply too much at first because you don't want to look like a cake face. Like so. You can of course use your beauty blender for this, but your beauty blender is going to give a little bit more of a sheer coverage, and if you want a high coverage out of this foundation, or at least a fuller coverage, I would recommend using a flat kabuki brush. This is my Sigma one, the F80. Any kind of flat kabuki or nice little kabuki, rounded top kabuki works well. Also a buffer brush works really well. So I'm going to start by just distributing this foundation all over my skin. I can actually zoom you guys in a bit, like so. So I'm going to start by just tapping it out with my brush, and you can start just blending it in to the skin. It is a very blendable foundation. It does not take a lot of work to get into the skin. So it's something that I really like it. So this is just one layer. As you can see, it already has, let me fix this. It already has a really beautiful coverage. However, I do recommend for us oily skin girls who are used to matte foundations and heavy coverage foundations to just apply another layer, because it's gonna make you feel more comfortable in the foundation. It's gonna make you kind of ease into that glowy luminous skin thing a lot easier. I know for a fact that when I wear really lightweight foundations, I find it quite hard, not because I'm insecure about my skin, just because I'm just used to having my skin be so flawless that if it's not, it's quite unusual for me to see myself. So I'm gonna take another couple of just the rest what's on my hand, and I'm just gonna stipple it wherever I need a little bit of extra coverage. Now I have applied the foundation, and as you guys can see, it is a beautiful, beautiful coverage. This is just 2 layers, and I think that's perfect, and it's definitely enough. You can see that it has this beautiful glow here that is quite different for foundations. I mean, it is a pricey foundation. This retails for 50 euros here in Holland, or I think in Europe in general. I bought this at the Bijenkorf, so if you're Dutch, you can find it at the Bijenkorf. It is a very pricey foundation, but trust me guys, it is pricey for a reason. I'm gonna apply some concealer. I'm gonna use my MAC Studio Finish concealer. This is in the colors W10 and NC20. So I'm not applying too much of this. I don't want to go too heavy with my foundation or with my concealer today, especially if you're gonna wear this. I would recommend wearing this type of look to like a pool party or beach party, and in these cases you kind of want to just go quite lightly with your makeup. I'm gonna take a little bit of the W10 and just to highlight the inner corner. I'm gonna use my e.l.f. small stippling brush just to kind of work this in to the inner corner and blend this out quite seamlessly. Take a little bit on the stippling brush and then just apply it on my cheekbone here. Apply a little bit on my nose. So I'm just applying a tiny amount of all this, just to make sure that it's not too much. Now for the most important part, I think, with this foundation is to set it. Especially if you do have oily skin, it's really important that you set it with a nice powder. I promise you guys that this, by powdering the skin, it's not going to lose that luminous glowy feel, the glowy finish that the foundation provides. It's kind of just going to make sure that it's locked and set in for the rest of the day, and so that you don't look after a couple hours like a grease ball, because we don't want to look like a grease ball. Ain't nobody got time for that. Especially in the summer. You want to look like, you want to walk on the street looking like you're sweaty, like you're sweating your ass off. You want to look like, bam, I'm made of plastic. Nothing will melt me, basically, except fire. And we're going to apply it on our forehead. I was going to say foreskin. Oh my god. Anyways. Now we're going to also contour. I'm just going to contour using this color right here. And I'm going to use my favorite brush. This is the FB05 from Sedona Lace. Gonna take a little bit of all these, and I'm not gonna contour too much because we do want to look quite natural and glowy. So just a little bit of a contour, like kind of a bronzing contour. So I'm not actually doing a harsh line, I'm just kind of bronzing up my cheeks just like that. Now for another product that I love to use with this foundation is actually another Armani product. I only have a sample of this because I wanted to try it out before I bought it. This is the Maestro blush from Armani. This is in the color 11. I will insert a picture right here just so you guys can see what it looks like. It is a beautiful liquid blush. It's liquid, not cream. And what I love about this, it's so incredibly, it blends in incredibly well, and it makes you look like J-Lo. J-Lo. I'm gonna take a little bit of this. This is what it looks like. It's just a beautiful, let me see if I can swatch it for you guys a little bit. It's a very sheer but glowy brush. I don't know if you can see this. It's very sheer, but it gives more of a glowy look. So it's actually more of a highlighter than it is a blush, but it has a deeper color. And what I like to use this one with is actually another, I have 2 of these. This is another stippling brush from e.l.f. And I like to take this and I just dip it into the product here. And I just tap it off on my hand first. And then I just apply it all over my cheek, actually. Because it does work all over the cheek. And I do want that full-on glow, so for me, I don't care if my whole cheek looks like a disco ball. But you guys can see, it just gives a very glowy, flushed look.
So I love that one. Yes. Yes.
Last but definitely not least, we do have to highlight, I'm sorry guys, you will never be able to skip this step, especially in the summer when you go into summer party. It just looks beautiful when the sun hits your face and you have that disco ball on your face and you looking like you are been sent from the gods of heaven like an angel. I do like to apply this with my fan brush from Sedona Lace just because it applies it quite nice and lightly. And I do use it just on the side of the brush, tap off the excess. And I apply that. Ooh, child, you applied a lot of that, didn't ya? Just like that. Just everywhere. Lastly, but not leastly, I'm gonna take my De-Slick spray from Urban Decay again and set that mama.
Woo! I feel like I just walked into a mist of waterfalls. Waterfalls of setting spray. How fun would that be? Just having a waterfall of setting spray.
And that is the finished skin. I'm gonna go off camera and I'm gonna finish off my eyes, and when I come back, you're gonna see how well this face looked. How glowy do I look? I look so glowy. So this is the finished face. If you guys see, I have this beautiful glow going on, also because of the highlight, but also because of the Maestro blush and the foundation. It creates a really nice, beautiful glow from within, and I really love this foundation for that reason. Please, oily skin girls, if you are feeling like you don't want to buy this because you're scared it's going to make you look oily, this is the perfect way to kind of work this foundation without getting oily. And I promise you, try it out. Maybe you'll like it. I know it's expensive, but it's a beautiful foundation. It's so good and I do really recommend it.